Hey guys, Weiss here. Welcome to another video. Today I'm once again going to be talking about the Intellivision Amico because I thought of kind of an interesting topic. It's really strange to me, or just kind of interesting, that the Intellivision Amico, this console that's been delayed, has generated so much controversy. It's a game console coming out. Why is it controversial? Kind of strange, kind of interesting. Before I get to these 5, if you could hit that like button and that subscribe button, or at least subscribe. Maybe you won't hit like till the end of the video, but if you could hit that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. That would be freaking awesome. Really helps us out a lot. And comment that you have subscribed. I'd love to hear from new viewers. Okay, let's get to it. The top 5 reasons the Amico is so controversial. So very briefly, you see I'm wearing an Intellivision hoodie. And I've been called a shill for doing this or whatever, but I do this with a lot of different topics. Like when I talk about Nintendo, I like to have a shirt on that's themed when I can, a NES shirt or a Zelda shirt or something. Same with Atari and whatever, just themed, and perhaps I am a bit of a Amico shill, whatever. Regardless, I am excited about it. And very briefly, it's okay to criticize what you know about the Amico so far. It's okay to say if you think the controller looks kind of goofy or unwieldy. It's okay if you think the graphics aren't great or you're just not excited about it. No problem at all. That's never a problem with me. And once I'm reiterating this because I've gotten some comments where people don't seem to understand what I'm talking about. I'm not saying it's wrong to criticize what you know so far about the Amico. And I'm not saying I know the Amico is going to be great or even good. I have no idea. I haven't played it yet. I'm just saying I'm excited about it. And I think it's a little unproductive or just kind of unfair to say you know it's going to be terrible or to hope it fails. I just think that's not the greatest way to go about it. But whatever. It's a free country. So let's get to it. 5 reasons I believe the Amico is so controversial. Number 5. I've heard a lot of people say the Intellivision is not a great IP, that nobody cares about the Intellivision, not as popular as Atari and that kind of thing. And maybe there's a little validity to this because it's not as popular as an Atari brand. And but a lot of people my age and a little younger and a little older have super fond memories of playing the Intellivision. And some of the Intellivision products have done really well. The compilation disc for the GameCube and PlayStation 2 and all of these kinds of things. The flashbacks sold well. And the flashbacks now, if you want one, a boxed one, we're looking at about $100, which is a lot more than they started off for. You know, I remember paying $40-something for mine on sale. I think they might have been $60 at the start. Regardless, and the special autographed flashbacks, like I've got here by the late great Keith Robinson, these go for about $160 on eBay. So there's definitely fondness for the Intellivision brand. A lot of people grew up really enjoying the Intellivision. I remember a lot of my friends and family members, you know, just different, a couple of cousins, but a lot of friends had the Intellivision. Really loved it, enjoyed it. A lot of people have fond memories of playing it. So number 5, the Intellivision just not being a great IP. That's one reason this system is seen as just maybe gonna fail right out of the gate or just pointless because the Intellivision is not a fondly remembered console. I kind of beg to differ because I think a lot of people grew up liking it. But while saying this, it is going to depend on more than just old guys like me buying this. It is going to depend on, you know, families wanting this for their kids and whatnot. So that's number 5. Number 4, the Intellivision disc controller, that the Amico is sort of upgrading and reimagining this controller because it's kind of an unusual controller. I've got the Intellivision 2 disc controller here, not a joystick, a disc. It was kind of strange at the time and it worked really, really well for some games and not so great for others like Pac-Man. But it worked extremely well for some. And here's my, if I can get it here, my Intellivision. It's hardwired to my Intellivision over here. Here's my original Intellivision controller. Some people love it, some people hate it, and some people are just kind of meh over it. But the new controller for the Amico, it looks different. It's much different, but you could say the same thing about the Wii controller. Remember when this came out or was being advertised? How strange was this? It looked like nothing we'd ever seen before. And it turns out it worked amazingly well. and I have high hopes for the Intellivision Amico controller. I tell you, if the Amico controller doesn't work well, if it is clunky and awkward and it's just not that responsive, I think the Amico will fail. But I can't imagine the time and attention they've given to this controller, and as technologically detailed as it is, there's just so much to it. I can't imagine them releasing this and it not being a great controller. But we'll see. Only time will tell. Products that companies have thought were going to do well have obviously been put on the market and have failed. But we will see about the Amico controller. So that's number 4. The disc controller, and just sort of updating that for today, is a controversial choice. That's number 4. Number 3 reason the Amico was so controversial, this console that's not even out yet, and it looks like a few months off now that's been delayed. Tommy Tallarico is everywhere. He's a really charismatic spokesman for the Intellivision brand, for the company, and he is all over the place. Now, why is this controversial? That's not a controversial in itself, but when you put yourself out there and you're constantly answering questions and you're very visible on YouTube and in the media, people like to tear that down. If someone's successful, Tommy is obviously does very well. He's got Guinness Book of World Records for being a video game composer and having worked on more games than anyone else. And he's obviously done well financially, and he's prominent in the gaming community. And some people, I think, just like to tear him down because of that. Also, some people just disagree with him, and I don't agree with him on everything. Maybe when he talks about some of the more, the Switch and the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, maybe I don't agree with him always when he's talking about those consoles, but which he does love, which he said, but just different aspects of things. Like maybe he downplays the family friendliness of the Switch a little bit at times just to boost up the Amico, but those are just small things, no big deal. But just the fact that he puts himself out there and answers so many questions, and it is on so many YouTube channels on different, he will talk to anyone regardless of your channel size, and I think that's awesome. That shows that he treats people like people and not just as a stepping stool to, profit for his company. He will talk to the small YouTubers as well, which is just awesome. And he treats people like people and not just as, statistics or clicks or likes or anything, and that's awesome. But just the fact that he's out there creates controversy just because there are people that want to tear him down. A lot of times if someone's successful and they're visible, there are certain people that just, for whatever reason, whether it makes them feel good or they just have a low self-esteem, or they just get their kicks out of bringing these kind of people down or criticizing these people or wishing them failure. I think that's a component of that. So that's number 3. Number 2, the graphics. The fact that the graphics are cell phone type graphics. You hear that a lot, just that they're 2D, and we're living in a world where people like 3D games, and who cares about these primitive looking games and that kind of thing. Well, that kind of misses the point a little bit with the Amico. The Amico is all about, old school and retro and all of that. And I think some of the games look pretty cool, like Night Stalker and Astro Smash and Moon Patrol. These games look fine to me. I don't need them to be amazing. I just need the gameplay to be well. I need to be able to make out what's going on the screen. And I need just to get that simple pick up and play vibe you do with a lot of great retro games. And that's what I'm looking for. I don't care about the graphics that much. I mean, I want a pleasant experience. When I'm playing ColecoVision and Intellivision Atari 2600, I don't want an ugly game. I want kind of a nice looking, pleasant looking game, ideally, but gameplay is king, and I think that's going to be the case with the Amico. Having said that, I do wish there were some 8-bit looking titles. Just some super retro looking titles. That doesn't appear to be the case so far, which at least the titles have demoed so far. But regardless, graphics come in at number 2 on this list because I think a lot of people have, criticized the graphics. So number 2 is graphics. Just people that are expecting maybe Xbox Series X quality or PlayStation 5 quality. Not the point here. The point is just to have a simple pick up and play console. And tied into the little business, maybe we'll make this 2A and 2B, so maybe there's 6 reasons. But I often, with lists, I like to cheat a little bit and have ties and whatever, but regardless. So number 2A is graphics. Number 2B does tie into this. $250 for the console creates controversy. They think that's too expensive because you can get an Xbox Series S or a Switch for just a little more money or whatever, around the same price. And people think that's maybe just too expensive for a retro-styled console, even though it does come with 2 very advanced controllers and some games and all of that. But the price and the graphics are tied for number 2. Coming in at number 1 of the 5 reasons, or I guess 6, since I cheated a little bit, reasons the Amico is so controversial is the Calico Chameleon. It just lives in the shadow of the Calico Chameleon because that duped everyone so badly. It was obviously, I don't know if the creator of this non-existent console duped everyone on purpose, or if it was just someone delusional or so excited about it they put the cart before the horse or whatever. But the Calico Chameleon left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths because it just never came out. And at the toy show, it was just a Super Nintendo running under the shell, and it was just the creator of this console promised me a review copy back in the day when everybody still thought the Calico Chameleon was legit and a thing and it was going to be in the Atari Jaguar shell. He told me, "Do you want a review copy?" And I was like, absolutely, of course. This was when I was writing for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, and the Star-Telegram had over 200,000 subscribers, plus a strong online presence. And he thought it would be great to get the Calico Chameleon reviewed in the Star-Telegram. And he said, pick what color you want. And I was really excited about this. Wow, a modern ColecoVision system. And the Calico Chameleon brainchild really screwed over a lot of people, including myself and John Lester and a bunch of others. Anybody excited for it? It was just a total sham. And people compare the Intellivision Amico to this, which seems ridiculous to me because the Intellivision Amico prototypes have been seen in action, gameplay has been seen all over the place, and there's a lot of push behind it, legitimate people behind it, like Tommy Tallarico. He has such a long history in the gaming industry, just absurd. So, but still, the Amico lives in the shadow of the Calico Chameleon. And to some extent, the Atari VCS, which has come out, but which is very expensive, much more than the Amico. But regardless, for whatever reason, I've given you 5 here, 5.5, 6, I guess you could say. The Amico is controversial, and that's just kind of interesting and strange to me. It's made for a lot of interesting YouTube videos, and I've had fun doing them. But it's just so strange, a console that hasn't come out yet, that is excited. A lot of people are excited about it. A lot of people think it's a scam. People think it's a scam, which seems absurd to me. But anyway, you may have your own impression. Let me know in the comments. Why do you think the Intellivision Amico is so controversial months ahead of its release? It's been talk about the Amico has been building for a long time now, and it's just interesting and strange that it's got so much positive and negative hype, well ahead of the launch date and well ahead of whatever the new launch date is going to be now that it's been delayed. But regardless, I would love to hear from you guys, and I would love if you could like this video. That would be awesome. And if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be epic and amazing. Thank you guys for watching, and just thank you for your interest in the Amico. Why am I thanking you for this? Because I am excited about it, and I love retro gaming, and I'm hoping, I don't know, but I'm hoping that the Amico will be a fun, fantastic console. And anyway, signing off, and I will talk to you in another video.